Okay, so before we have a look at these new cards, I just want to say a few things. First off, the Buddyfight ending for Buddyfight Ace called Funny Days. Just look up Buddyfight on the iTunes store, and you can find the music right now. There's an instrumental version and the lyrics with the Japanese voice actor. So if you want to get yourself some nice music, it's only 99 cents for me Canadian. It's probably even cheaper for you depending on your currency. But yeah, you can get the music. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, I'll play a clip right now really quickly showing off the SPs and Buddy Rares as well of the set.
遊び心でエンジョイデイズ学びまくってスタディデイズ体動かしてジャンピングデイズ集合毎日がミラクル的ファニーファニーデイズ
Anyways, Bushiroad said this in the Ace announcement. That said, we will proceed carefully so as to not make cards that are too powerful or cards that are too difficult. Do keep in mind though that the Buddyfight meta has changed, especially with Ace for the mess that was, and they're trying to make up with it, and I'm already seeing some great stuff from the Ancient World and Star Dragon World, Danger World, the DEITY Yankees, which I'll have a look in 1 second. But yeah, before you see these cards, take a deep breath, think it over, and really just be calm, be civil when discussing this kind of stuff. So yeah, here you go. Secret Fist founder, DOGAZEUS. So DEITY Yankees, the new attribute for Danger World. I'll put up the Buddy and this image right now, but 622, size 2, call cost, put a card in your opponent's field into the drop zone, pay 1 of your opponent's gauge and 1 of your opponent's life. So basically the call cost is stealing resources from your opponent, which seems to be the focus for this deck. And when this card attacks and destroys a monster in your opponent's field or deals damage to your opponent, you deal 2 damage and gain 2 life. Now before you freak out, do keep in mind this card doesn't have Soul Guard. This card doesn't have double attack either, any crazy stuff, you know. A lot of things now you need to have high critical and stuff to actually get through the opponent. But stealing resources and being able to put a card in your opponent's field in your drop zone is really good. Do keep in mind cards like Thora and Balsole can bypass this because Soul Guard can be used as whenever a card will leave the field and it's leaving the field to the drop zone. But you can destroy cards, not destroy, but put them into the drop zones. For example, cards like Dragon Force with his cost and just get rid of really annoying cards. So it's a really solid card and that call cost is really strong. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at some of the cards and stuff for DEITY Yankees. I want to keep this video short and also some information for the ultimate sets that we got a long time ago I just never really showed off. So Eternal Speech, DEITY Yankee on your field, 2 games, your opponent discards a card from their hand and draw 2. Technically, cards like Valkyrie, let's say from Legend World, cards that have effect when they're discarded can still activate. So in a way, your opponent can use this in their favor. But I mean, getting rid of cards in your opponent's hand, you getting free cards to draw is just a really solid effect. HAPHAZARD Wheel, destroy DEITY Yankee in your field to pay 1 gauge. Choosing to use one of the following 2, you destroy 2 cards in your opponent's field. If you destroy 2, draw a card and put all souls from a card in your opponent's field and drop zones. Already great tech spell for DEITY Yankees. I do want to say DEITY Yankee isn't necessarily the final, obviously, attribute. It's not the official translation of what Bushiroad decided to go to. So we're going to have to wait until we get English attributes for that. So yeah, we've also got Insane Goddess GOSSILIS. So pay 1 of your opponent's gauge. Your opponent cannot call monsters from the drop zone, so already having that really strong Dead Earth Invitation effect right there is really powerful. And when this card attacks, if your opponent has 1 or less gauge, your opponent discards a card from their hand. So I mean, this can stop Gear God's Overkill. It's already getting cards rid of from your opponent's hand. I mean, it's just really good effects on DEITY Yankees. Again, we have to see how they are in play, but so far they seem pretty solid and don't seem too strong yet, but again, we'll have to wait. So 7-2, with DEITY Yankee from your drop in this card, still pay 1 of your opponent's gauge, Penetrant Soul Guard, just a solid weapon really. We've also got this interesting item right there. Oh, that's a D-share removal. So we got 1 gauge, 1 life. This card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. All DEITY Yankee monsters in your field get power plus 4,000 and move as well. So I mean, move, power, buff, just really good and can't be touched by card effects pretty much. You've also got this incredible card right here, size 3, 1,000 fingers, so 923. But the top card is deck into its soul and pay 1 up your opponent's gauge. When this card is destroyed, your opponent discards a card from their hand and you deal 1 damage to your opponent with double attack and soul guard. So I mean, you're getting rid of their hand cards, you're stealing their gauge, and you're dealing them chip damage as well, just from its destruction, which is just really good. Double attack soul guard. We've also got this crazy set spell as well. Also love the new foiling for the doublers as well. Can't wait to see that. So we got membership system, all no DEITY. So set at the beginning of your opponent's main phase, choosing to use one of the following 2. Your opponent discards a card from their hand and you draw a card, or you can put a card from your opponent's gauge into drop zone and gauge 2. So already from costs and the spell alone, stealing resources from your opponent is already really valuable, especially with gauge, which is what made 5th Omnis, for example, Double, back in Triple D, a really strong and prominent deck. So definitely seeing gauge resources not so much life with the cards as well, but I mean, being able to steal other resources is really annoying. And especially if you can get a lot of this off the first turn, you can definitely hit your opponent hard when they have their next turn. For example, cards like Obstruct were destroying Chaos and stuff like that because they could just stop them from, you know, drawing a ton of cards, especially because they're limited with 4-hand cards. So yeah, it's definitely a really strong and interesting deck to see how it plays out. Again, this isn't necessarily every single card in the set, but for the most part it is. We've got this crazy card right here. So item 5/2. If you have a dragon on your field, this card and all dragon on your field cannot have their abilities nullified, and they can't be destroyed by card effects, and they get power plus 4,000, just the way it was worded. So yeah, you're not going to be touching Gargantua anytime soon, which is a bit unfortunate, a bit annoying, but again, there's still many other ways to counter him as well. And Drago Trap exists, and I'm pretty sure we can get getting a lot more resources from other worlds as well to stop being a lot of really annoying and really hard meta decks that Buddyfight X brought along. We've also got this card right here. You only cast this card if you DD Dragon Trap your field. 1 gauge, draw 2 cards, and you have a dragon on your field, you gain 2 life. Just really solid. And of course, we've got some crazy cards from some secret packs. Before we have a look at that, I just want to show off some stuff right here for Cosmo Dragoons. So not Cosmo Dragoons, Cosmo Man and Mamoru right there, Ayane and her buddy. So we basically got the I believe I didn't think I ever showed it off. Anyways, let's just go through it really quickly. So premium rares are making a return. Finally, they're separating the 2 sets. So usually in Japan, for example, in the level up heroes and adventurers, we had the level up the adventurer one, which is Dungeon World, and the hero world set 2 separately. And when they came into English, they squished it all into one alternative packs, and the rates were really weird. Finally, our basically calls have been answered, and they're separating the sets, which is awesome to see. So yeah, it is small, so you only got 7 cards per packs, 10 packs per box, 24 boxes per cartons. You also get reprints as well, so cards like Hyper Energy, stuff like that probably. Each pack includes 1 double rare and above and 2 rares, basically confirmed per pack. And yeah, we've got this SP art right here. The sleeves looking amazing. We've got Ayane right here and her buddy. We've also got stuff for deck cases as well. I don't even know what to say about that. We've also got Satsuki making a return, and this really cool superhero as well. We've also got Miko and Mel right here, premium rares, so 7 cards, same rates and stuff like that. Thunder, DEITY, focusing something with weapons. I assume that's the main weapon she's holding, but yeah. Buddyfight stuff. Waifus, I don't know. I just remember that's how people were reacting to this. Anyways, you also got Mel, and yeah, Captain World, Dungeon World, so that's awesome to see, in case you were confused who's using which. Anyways, so yeah, that's basically it. We've also got description of the stuff right here. So, Miko using Katsuna World, Japanese mythology, fighting dynamically with special items. I don't think it's going to be like level 15, by the way. And Mel's Dungeon World with fairy tales and calling them with the aid of counter. Someone suggested the idea of having like a main item that's like a fairy, fairy book, yeah, fairy tale book, which is definitely interesting. But anyways, back to more cards from the set. Gargantua Awakened. This card, I don't know why. 1 gauge, destroy up to 3 cards in your opponent's field. If you destroy 2 or more, you get a free draw. It's just really solid cards are Astro Dragons. Draw a card, you get immunity to being destroyed or returned to hand by card effects, and you get power plus 2,000. I mean, it's not a counter, so, you know, during your opponent's turn, they can wipe out your field, but I mean, it's still a good card. Counter Calling of Astro Dragons, absolutely amazing. And of course, you also have this card, which is basically a Shadow Stitch for Astro Dragons. So there's no way Bots is going to be ripping through Astro Dragons anytime soon. You've also got this crazy card as well. 1 life, check top 4. You get to put 2 Astro Dragon monster items from on them into your hand and rest into gauge. So again, because it says up to, you can put 1 or 1. It's basically 0 to 2. So up to means as many basically as you like. So it can be 0, 1, or 2. So necessarily you can get 4 gauge sometimes. Alright, really it just depends on which ones you choose to put into hand, which ones you decide to put into gauge. And I realized I forgot this card as well. This incredible card right here, Striking Heaven Daipa. So when it enters the field, your opponent gains gauge, you gain 2 gauge, and you get a free hand card. I mean, it's just a really solid, great card for ZD Yankees. And, you know, more gauge to your opponent, meaning you can actually use the cards that you have. Again, we have to see some more cards, but so far I believe it's only this card and this card that actually gives gauge to your opponent. Never mind. Yeah, this steals gauge from your opponent. So, again, you kind of have to rely on your opponent having gauge. So, currently, it's the only one that forcefully gives gauge to your opponent. There's also Axie as well, but that's not in Danger World. But yeah, that's practically it for everything that I wanted to say really quickly. You also have some really nice low rarity cards. For example, Babylon, which is the main item for Astro Dragons that Subaru uses as a common. You can check the rarities for all this stuff and Buddy Spoiling on the wiki. You've also got this amazing card, which is double rare, gauge 2, gain a life, draw 2 for Astro Dragons. Just a really solid card. Stops abilities of your Link Dragon order from being nullified and just gives power buff to all cards in your field. The main item for Masato. You can see it being used in the opening as well. You got this crazy promo. When it's in your field, you have 3 or more Drago Link order monsters on your field. Destroy all monsters in your opponent's field. And when it D-Shear, when this card attacks, you can pay 2 life, draw a card. So with the gain 2 life from the other monster, you're basically going to gain free draw cards as well, which is absolutely crazy. And also these ones as well, D-Shear cards. Oh my goodness, they have a ton. So this, stand all D-Shear on your field, give them power, critical, absolutely insane. Really nice card for the secret pack. You've also got this card. Defense during your opponent's turns. You can get, if you have 2 of these with King of Jito on your center, go to 13k defense. You also, when it enters field, gauge and draw for free, which is absolutely amazing. You've got this card, gain and draw cards equal to the number of monsters D-Shear on your field. Really just a lot of solid cards that really bring these decks up to the standard they need to be to compete against decks like the Chaos, Thunder Empire, and other stuff. And I'm really excited to see how they do. You've also got this crazy card, basically immunity to card effects, of course. I had hoped that we would not get immunity, but of course it was going to happen eventually, so yeah. But do keep in mind, for example, if you were to cast this card, your opponent does have counter timing to cast something in response, so in resolution for card effects depending on when this is cast, because it's during your main phase when you cast this card, the way that it is when your opponent casts a counter, their counter is resolved first. So for example, you can cast this card, and then they can cast a counter, let's say it destroys your item, then the spell goes into play and the effect goes off. So again, counter timing, all that stuff, you remember that stuff. So big thing that I really love about Buddyfight, counter timing as well. But yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully I didn't rush too much or forget anything. And also Buddy Funny Days, make sure to check that out as well on iTunes. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.